Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming and joining us. I am Sirken, and I'm joined this wonderful evening by fellow GM Derubael, and we have a good friend of the channel, Uberbandit, here with us. He's going to help us with the questioning so that we don't miss any of the good ones. That being said, Derubael, say hi.
Hey, hey.
And Uberbandit, say hi to these fine people as well.
Grimfan wants to know, did I miss it?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
We're here.
We are here. So basically, guys, we wanted to take some time. We know everyone's got stuff to do. We wanted to take some time real quick though and talk with you guys and answer any questions that you may have had. So just start shooting them off into the chat, and our good friend Uber Bandit is going to throw them at us as he sees fit. So that's going to be a thing.
Your questions are in my hands.
Mm-hmm. So, Derubael, is there anything on your mind regarding the blue server you'd like to start us off with?
When's Velious?
Something will come up, I'm sure, at some point, and I'll share my thoughts on whatever that is that pops into my head.
A plus. As far as Velious, that really depends on the beta testing. We need more people beta testing that server.
Well, speaking of the beta testing, Blade P99 wants to know any update on the beta copy issue.
There is no update on the beta copy issue. I know Rogan knows about it, and I know that it's going to be fixed. I just don't know when.
Just Wasting Time says we might need to be turned up a bit, me and Darrow.
You might need to be turned up a bit. Well, then what I will do is turn myself down because I can't make you guys any louder.
All right. Veyron wants to know, Derubael, will you give me the tip?
I don't think that's a valid question for the blue server Q&A. That is more likely a valid question for Monday night stream.
So this is a super handout stream.
No, this is just blue server Q&A. This is not our Monday night fun time.
Founder X wants to know, any chance we will ever have target rings back?
No.
No, now hold on.
No.
If we get past Velious and we go into custom content far enough, or even regular content far enough to where we hit the expansion where target rings were actually added to the game, then we might do it.
Look, Sirkin, Nobog wants to put meditating, looking at the book back in by blinding people.
Yes.
When they sit down to med. Do you really think he's going to want to put target rings back into the game?
I'm just saying, if we can get to that expansion, then he might. Oh!
All right. Track got the deep one, so this is going to be long. Question: why do we continue to allow classic bugs to exist? I'm talking about item recharging and allowing epics to be MQable. It was never intended, and it is obviously trivializing content. In an email from Brian McQuaid, he stated that a low-level rogue running around with an epic doesn't sound right. I believe these bugs are not in line with the vision of classic EverQuest and should be removed immediately. What are your thoughts?
I'll jump in first and just say that we have discussed the issue with level 1 rogues running around with their Easy Bringer, and we have discussed the pros and cons of that being a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, to expand on that, obviously some of the classic bugs, you're such an ass, some of the classic bugs get fixed and some of them don't. It's really, I think that when a bug comes up that was obviously in classic but is detrimental to the game, I think that's when those kinds of things get fixed. In reference to those two issues that you asked about specifically with the low-level epics and the item recharging, I think those are actually being looked at. I don't know if it's gonna go one way or the other, or if it's just being shot around, but things that are deemed to be detrimental to the gameplay, or they make things too easy or too difficult, get looked at.
I believe there is also the case of perfecting what EQ was comes after figuring out how to get P99 itself as stable and unbuggy as possible. There's still P99 bugs that need to be fixed before they start rewriting EverQuest history. Alright, Grimfan wants to know, are you guys still recruiting guides, and is it bad form to bump my application once a month to keep it from locking?
We're always looking for good guides. I'd say always, if you're interested in joining the staff, throw in an application, because when we see new ones, we do look at them. And I mean, if we see a really good application, we might just take the guy, or the whoever it is might take them on staff, or someone might quit and we might not make an announcement. We don't always make posts. We had to make posts this time because we wanted to get them quickly so that we could have a couple new staff members on board and ready to go for when Velious goes live.
All right. Any news on /who all LFG getting fixed?
Oh shit.
Oh.
It got crazy for a second.
You have like reverb going on.
It's still a little crazy. You sound like you might actually be in a wind tunnel or a sound testing like vacuum maybe.
Well, it's gone now. It was just for a minute there. I'm sorry, I didn't hear the back end of the question.
Any news on /who all LFG getting fixed?
Oh, I'm pretty sure the devs are aware of that. I feel like they should be. I feel like I've talked to Nilbog about it, maybe. But bug form. Whenever something's broken, bug form it, because that's the best way to ensure the devs see it.
It's at the top. Someone looks at it and they go, "Oh yeah, that thing. We need to fix that." And then they work on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or it goes to the
Yeah,
bottom
bug form.
and they get stuck fixing
Really,
the
really
other things that are at the top.
Pretty much just like that.
All right. Similar vein. When will AC be fixed?
That would be a dev thing.
Yep. Pretty much when it's fixed.
The AC, I actually did want to comment on that specifically. AC is really hard to nail down and work out because the formula changed so many times on live. I think people remember that initially it was a hard cap, and then the hard cap was changed. It was still a hard cap, but they modified the way it worked. And then the hard cap got changed to a soft cap, and then the soft cap got changed. So it was really hard to figure out exactly how AC was working. The other problem there is that there was never a dev who came out from Varant who just said, this is the way AC works. They gave us little hints and clues as to how things were working and how AC would affect how you're getting hit. But nobody ever just came out with the formula for how that calculation is done, which is why it's so difficult to nail down, well, if I have 1,000 AC, how much damage should I be mitigating from a mob that's my same level? Does level factor into it? What goes into making this formula how it was on live? I know that the devs are definitely aware that AC is broken. It's just hard to really nail down how exactly it needs to be fixed. It's definitely having an effect in game. I can say that without a doubt because I've tested around with that on various mobs and on a couple raid targets. So it's definitely doing something. It's just not quite what it should be as it was on live, which kind of sucks because it means that for races like Ixar who get the extra AC bonus, that's not as big of a deal because I don't think AC has as much as an effect as it did on live. But they're aware that it's a problem and they're trying to figure out what exactly it is that's going on there.
Lenwin wants to know, why did P99 decide on using the already up to that point worked on Titanium client Emu and not start fresh with the trilogy original discs? Would have been more classic from the start.
The EQ emulator wouldn't work with the original trilogy discs.
Yeah, it would have taken a huge overhaul.
I think the question is why use something based on the Titanium client and not just make something from the original discs?
Because that's what EQ emulator used originally. When EQ emulator Actually, no, I think they used a different client originally, but most of the EQMU code base to make the server actually work was based on Titanium client. And in order to do that, you'd have to go back and completely rewrite the way that EQMU is working with the client. And some people have tried to do that to varying amounts of success. But if you guys remember, there was a project that I don't know if they're still working. It sounds like it's kind of vaporware at this point, but there was a project called EQ Classic, and that's basically what they were trying to do was recreate the original Trilogy client with the original UI and all that stuff. And that project has taken 5 years just to get the client nailed down, and they eventually gave up. So.
All right, we have Mobile Vortex. Can we fix duck canceling spells on blue? Clearly not classic and has already been fixed on red.
I personally feel it should be the same on both servers. I like duck canceling spells, but I don't know how it would shake out. I'm afraid to push that because I don't want to get it taken away from blue.
Yeah, I remember a little while back, there had been some discussion on wanting to make it so that it was the same on both servers, but I don't think any of us could really decide what exactly that should be. I think that we all agree that it should be consistent on both servers. Either both servers should have duck casting or both servers should not have duck casting. But I don't think a consensus was ever reached as to whether or not, which one of those two we were going to go with.
All right, we have, where'd it go? Oh yeah, when will maps be added?
Maps aren't classic.
Never, never, never.
In fact, maps
Same
were
thing with
taken
target.
away.
Well, Sirken, if you said maybe yes to target rings, you have to say maybe yes to the maps.
All right. Maybe if we go past Velious and we just start rolling through expansions and we get to the expansion that brought maps, then we might just open up maps. But the odds of us getting to any of these expansions are very slim to none.
All right, let's see. Osiris wants to know, I know where the problem is in the code. Do you want help with it?
Send that to Nilbog.
Yeah, if you talk to Nilbog, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to have someone do work for him.
We've had many players do little things here and there, and some of the people on the dev team, that's how they became part of the dev team. They just were like, hey, Nilbog, I know how to fix this. Here you go. And Nilbog's like, that's awesome. Blah, blah, blah. And then time goes by, and we have new people on the dev team. I believe that's what happened with Talon.
And yeah, and if you, Osiris, if you know what's wrong with AC in the code, you should probably give a detailed explanation as to what exactly that is before you, and you should probably send that to Nilbog and Hanar. I'm not exactly sure what it is you're referencing there, but those would be the two people to send that PM to. No, I understand that he's saying armor class,
Okay.
but I'm curious as to. Anyway, send it to them. Give a detailed explanation of what exactly it is you think is wrong, because if you just say, I know what's wrong with AC, let me fix it, you're just going to get ignored. So.
Pin Boots, that's a red question. We have Founder X commenting, I like this. Maps change the game fundamentally. Target rings don't.
Well, people on PvP servers would disagree with you.
There you go. If a person is camping Ancient Cyclops, then calls in his buddy to take over the camp when he gets his drop, can I claim the camp as my own if I was there waiting? This seems to happen almost every AC camp.
I'm pretty sure you're allowed to pass a camp off to whoever you want. If they just keep passing it back and forth in their corpsing rings, you could petition that, because I'm sure it would piss off any staff member who's online, and we'd find a way to call it like harassment or griefing or actions detrimental to the server. We'll find a way to stop people from being shitty people.
Right. And whenever you're waiting for a camp, and I try to tell people this whenever this issue comes up, whenever you're waiting for a camp, it's really important that you ask the person who's holding the camp if they have a line already or if they're passing it to a friend or what exactly is going on there. The general rule is if they tell you you can have camp next and then you sit there and wait and then they pass it off to somebody else, that's not okay. If they try to deceive or defraud you and say, well, yeah, you can have the camp next, and then 30 minutes later when they get their item, they're like, oh, I'm just trolling, I'm giving it to my buddy. Like, that's not okay. They need to give you the camp. Also, if their friend isn't there by the time the next placeholder spawns, then their friend forfeits the camp. Because I know there's a lot of times where people will save a camp for their friend, and their friend will be selling stuff in East Commons, and they're in Ocean of Tears. They get their item, and then they say, okay, well, I'm going to pass it to my friend now, and then they sit there and hold the camp for their friend. That's not okay. When the next placeholder spawns, their friend needs to be there. Otherwise, it's your camp.
We have...
Otherwise, it's whoever is there. It's their camp.
Why don't you try a classic server with maps and a server like it is, referring to P99. See which gets more traffic, win-win if you'll play both, right?
Well, maps aren't classic. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just that simple. Nobody on staff wants maps in the game.
The other thing is,
we're all
I believe
pretty against maps.
it was a little before Kunark that there actually were still maps.
No. What? There were no maps in Kunark?
No, on the server. On the server.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of when we actually got them removed.
I
wanna
mean,
say it was
the
around Kunark.
maps are nice for like a new player, but like anybody who's played EverQuest or been on the server for a little while can learn to use /loc and the maps on the wiki.
Yeah, the wiki is
in order to
amazing.
get around. And maps just aren't classic. Like, I understand that some people feel like, well, I really need a map, but like, you really don't. You can get around without one, and they're just not going to happen.
As a matter of fact, there were a lot of people who played this game for a lot of years without maps.
Exactly.
Or hand-drawn maps. But yeah, getting lost is part of the game. Alright. Yep, maps are indeed on the wiki. Ryra wants to know, what exactly are the rules on claiming a camp? For instance, AC in Upper Guck. PHs are killed by someone and a guy runs out for 10 seconds to kill a few frogs. Is it still his camp or does it become mine?
You're only allowed to hold one camp at a time. If a zone's empty, you can do whatever you want. But if somebody else shows up and they want one of those camps, you have to give them one of those camps. You can't just be like, well, I'm just camping this one mostly, but then I run over and kill this one sometimes. Like, that's not okay. You pick one and stick with it.
Yeah, we actually recently, I say recently, but it was back in like October, but we recently changed the way that the camp rules were working so that if you're in a zone and you're by yourself and you're camping some rare spawn, it's okay to go and kill other spawns too, as long as you're keeping the placeholders for whatever you are actually camping cleared. Once somebody wants to come in and contest that camp, so let's say you're killing at the AC in Guck, let's say you're killing that and you're killing some frogs outside the room, and everything's going great, and then somebody else shows up and they want to contest that camp or wait in line for it or whatever. Once they show up, you have to go and stay in your camp room. As long as the camp's not being contested, it's okay to wander out and kill some other mobs as long as you get back before the placeholders are killed, or before the placeholders spawn again. But once somebody else is interested in that camp, stay in the room and maintain a presence there to show that that's the camp that you're at. And like Sirken was saying, you can't hold multiple camps. If somebody wants to contest one of the camps that you're holding, you have to give them, one of those camps. You pick one, and then they can pick the other one.
All right, we have question. In Howling Stones, can a group claim an entire wing?
I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I've never hunted in Howling Stones, so I don't know if that's the thing or if there's specific or multiple camps inside of each wing. But I'm assuming it would probably imagine on how many people are in the zone.
Yeah, the HS question is one that's come up in the past, and it's hard to answer because the HS zone, it really depends on how many people are there. Like if there's only 2 groups in HS, or there's 2 parties trying to kill mobs there, one group should probably take one wing and another group should probably take another wing. Ideally, you guys are going to work something out on your own without having to call in a GM or quote rules or something like that. Because really, there is there's no set path for how those should function.
All right, we have Red 99 get a question reiterated here since we don't have one presently sitting. Will Blue 99 ever get duck casting disabled as well as item recharging?
I think that was actually answered really well in the chat. We want it to be consistent on both servers.
Yep. And
At least as far as duck casting goes. I don't know about the item recharging. I personally am not a fan of item recharging, but I don't think it's ever really been talked about at length among the staff.
I know Nilbog is, well, once upon a time he said that it's classic, so it's allowed. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
All right, let's see.
As far as I know, it's never been discussed to any great length by the staff.
PN Boots wants to know, do you feel Rants and Flames promotes a toxic environment for a blue server?
I feel Blue Rants and Flames has been so boring lately. No, I don't feel it's toxic for anything.
I think we actually feel that it's a good thing because we need a place where people can go and just spew all their rage and their hate and keep it out of the game, keep it into RNF. Because like if we didn't have RNF, like you gotta realize the bullshit would still happen. It's just that it would spill over everywhere else. Like you're not gonna stop people from ranting and flaming at each other just because there's no RNF for them. It's just gonna spill over everywhere else. It's gonna spill over in the game and in server chat and blah blah. At least this way, when we have 2 people arguing over whatever in game, usually somebody steps in and goes, take it to RNF, because that's where that needs to be.
And also it cleans up the rest of the forums. You don't get those threads in general and all that.
Exactly. It's not spilling over everywhere else.
The thing about the RNF is just it's so noticeable because it speaks so loud. I mean, these are the people in the crowd screaming at the top of the lungs. Of course, you notice them. But when it really comes to the server, it represents a really small part of the population itself.
Yeah, and I also...
honestly, quick reminder, like, nobody forces anybody to click on RNF. If you don't like what's in there, don't go in there. That's why it's isolated.
Tell people that.
I mean, that's why it's all in one section. It's so that if people don't want to see it or read it, they don't have to.
Precisely. We have... Where to go? Oh, how is taunt affected by mob's level relative to yours?
It's a mechanics question that we can't really answer.
Yeah, it's... As I understand it from playing, when the mob is higher level than you, it almost never works. That was just my experience from leveling a war and some other things with taunt, but...
Yeah, and actually, if you go look at the forums, there's a ton of threads on warrior aggro and taunt and how all that works. It's a game mechanics question that we're not really supposed to answer.
So if you have... I had a train of thought. Oh, if you have anything relevant to add to that, there's most likely a large thread in the bug forums. Otherwise, you can take a look, see what they've decided there. Maybe, I don't know. That's all I got. My brain exploded.
A+.
Yeah, I'm the most professional. What is the current update on Velious? Is winter coming? Will you release it early with some raid zones disabled?
Had they been here at the start, they would have seen the video that very clearly said winter is coming. We don't have a date for Velious, and I mean, if more people want to log in and do beta testing, it's going to speed up the process. But if it's only staff doing beta testing, then it's going to be a minute.
Now, that does grant right now the beta copy itself is kind of borked.
beta copy itself is borked, but I know for a fact there's a few hundred people that have already done it because I've seen them on.
So you people that can do it, live for us who actually want to test it, so that stuff gets done. You'll be my favorite.
And I'll tell you right now, I will be pushing for Rogan to give some kind of something to these people that have put good amount of time on the beta server uh, on their live character, just as a thank you from the staff.
All right, we have Blade P99. Are you guys getting really fed up with the amount of blue versus red on the forums? Is it almost to the point where you want to say blue, just stay the bleep out of red posts, red stay the bleep out of blue posts?
No, it doesn't bother me at all because I don't open dumb threads. I mean, that's the trick to being on the forums. Don't open threads that you know are going to aggravate you.
Yeah, and I mean, again, you can count, the people arguing in that thread on one hand.
It's the same guys arguing about different shit every day.
Let's see. If Sleeper is awoken in Velious, will it be spawned or rip on those sweet pixels?
Hold on one second. I wanted to say one more thing. As far as the Velious release, we fully intend to release Velious as a whole. We're not going to release Velious minus zones X, Y, and Z. When Velious goes live, it will be complete. And then as far as the Sleeper, I mean, that's up to the players. Whatever they do is what they do. We're like those National Geographic photographers that just watch the baby gazelle get torn apart by lions.
Yeah, basically it's not going to get reset. If you guys kill it, it's pretty much done.
All right. We have Portosaurus. I tried to test Velious Beta. I ported it into the Cobalt Scar, got smacked by a Dark Blue Mob, ported to some other place, got finished off by a Light Blue Mob. Death verified working.
Thank you for your contribution to the beta server.
All right. Tone asks, why wait for Velious to be complete? POM was down for months after Velious release.
Do you really want like half of an expansion? Like you want an expansion with like only half the raid content released? I don't get that.
The other part that makes sense from a developer perspective is if they get everything finished and done and ready to release at the same time, when it comes back and things are breaking, because it's going to happen, then they can focus on fixing bugs instead of trying to get the rest of the content out, which would honestly probably get pushed all the way to the back. So either you wait a little bit longer and it all gets released as a sum, and then they're able to respond to bugs right away, or release it in parts and the parts get pushed further and further as they debate between whether they want to fix bugs or keep working on the rest of the content.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, as much time and effort as the devs are putting into Velious, I'm sure that after it goes live, there's still going to be things that need to be fixed, and we don't want to be doing that and still working on getting zones out. I know that Nilbog and the rest of the devs are taking a lot of pride in Velious, and they just want it to be absolutely as perfect as possible when it comes out, and that includes releasing it in its entirety.
All right. Mr. Jones wants to know, do I need anything special to play on the Velious beta server?
Character on the beta server.
Well, the command
right now,
is...
the beta copy command is not working. So right now, if you're not already on the beta, you won't be able to get over to the beta.
When it is working, what is the command?
That command is working again. The command is just /beta. And there's no entrance requirement. You can be any level. You don't have to do anything special. You just type /beta on whatever server your character is on, on that character, and it'll copy you over to the beta server and start testing.
All right. Tragic wants to know, for a new player like me, what's the difference between your classic server and the Velious server, besides the obvious expansion stuff? Thought Sirken's typewriter?
Sorry about that.
Assuming that he's talking about the Velious beta, which has pretty much all of the other zones that are not in Velious turned off, except for North Row where the docks are. That's the main difference.
I would also say that there's another difference is that there's a very helpful NPC at the docks on the beta server who I don't exactly remember what he gives you when you hail him, but talk to him. He'll do things for you.
That doesn't sound shady at all.
It's shady. It's very shady. It's very not classic.
But yes, the beta server is literally just for testing. And you should go there. Let's see. Sigleaf just added just did /beta, and it says the beta server is offline. How are we supposed to test?
You guys are gonna have to wait for Rogan to fix that. We're doing some changes to some things. That's why we told everyone to do it when we told them to do it.
Pyrocat asks, what specific areas of Velious need the most beta testing?
Well, see, that's the thing. If we had a list of things that we knew needed to be looked at, we would just be fixing those things. We're at the point now where we need you guys to go out there and tell us what's broken. Because we don't know. Pretty much we still have some things on the devs' plates, but for the most part, we need you guys to go out there and tell us what is broken and what is not right.
Go ahead.
I hear what you guys are saying about needing some focus for your beta testing. I'm gonna try to talk to Nilbog and see what he thinks about maybe having like a this zone week or a that zone week, or testing these specific quest lines and that kind of thing, just so you guys have some more guidance. Because I hear what you're saying about wanting to be able to focus on something rather than just saying, here's the whole expansion, figure out what's wrong with it. If you guys had specific zones targeted or specific quest lines targeted, it might motivate you guys to beta test a little bit more.
It also honestly would probably get it done more effectively too, because you have a bunch of people then focusing one area, and they're more likely to find the holes.
Right, exactly.
All right. Red99 Pixel Pain wants to know, what direction is P99 going post-Velious? AAs, custom content?
I would be shocked if AAs were ever a thing.
I would actually not be surprised if some custom AAs went in, or maybe not custom, but cherry-picked AAs. But that would be way down the line.
Ask Rogan about AAs next time you have him alone.
I have.
Because the way he describes
it, he was talking about it in GM chat not that long ago.
He told me he essentially set the code on fire.
Well, he did. But it doesn't mean it can't be rewritten.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I'm not saying AAs are coming. I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, I would not rule anything out for custom content. I really wouldn't.
Would you even say target rings are possible?
Oh, no, I would say target rings are not possible, but I would like to see chat channels put back in.
This guy.
I love chat channels. That's great. The way I had it explained to me, chat channels are effectively separate functions.
I don't know what that was. I don't know, but I muted both of you to take care of it. So, it's all right. You guys are unmuted now, though. Feel free to continue.
All right. Let's see.
I don't know what part you cut me off in my little spiel, but let's continue on.
All right. Question: how confident do you feel about the accuracy of the quests and quirks in Plane of Mischief?
I feel very good about what's finished in Plane of Mischief. I know Nilbog and I know Haynar and Canris and the other devs, they've put a lot of man hours into Velious into making sure that it is everything it should be. I think a lot of players, I mean, I know some Emu servers have had Velious, and any of you that have played on those, when you play on P99 Velious, you're going to be blown away by the differences. I mean, people legit have not seen a real Velious since, Classic, since the days of Live.
Since the real Velious.
Yeah, I mean, I've been around EQ Emu since since the end of '07, and I've been waiting for a real legit good Velious that whole time, and I've never seen a good one. VZTZ tried
Yeah.
a few times. I know Void had his thing. Um, I don't know if Legacy of Zek or if the other servers are out there have it, but I guarantee our Velious will be better than any Velious you've seen since actual Velious.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I mean, there's so many little quirks that get left out on stock Velious from the EMU code, like just little scripted events and the way that this runs and the way that that runs. The little dwarves in Thurgoden and the way they meet, like just little things that just aren't going to be there on other servers, are in and working on the P99 Velious, which is just so cool that there's just the immersive environment that Brant put together for classic Velious is going to be there on P99, which is just fantastic.
I
Because it was such a rich expansion in terms of content and lore and just all the little things that came together to make that, you know, the quintessential EverQuest expansion.
Portosaurus wants to know, will Classic Zone / The Warrens be testable on the Velious beta server?
Is Warren's Velious?
I
Yeah.
believe so.
Most Velious.
Well, if it's after Velious and before Lucklin, then I'm sure you'll get it eventually. I don't know. If it didn't come with the launch of Velious, I doubt we'll launch it with the launch of Velious.
Well, he's trying to ask if it's going to be on the beta. It's probably not going to be on the beta, and I only say that because all of the old world zones are shut off. So,
All right. Eurogamer, has the XP issue on Red already been discussed? If it was, it would have been yesterday, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
we did a huge
They're on
ass Q&A on Red. You can find that on Sirken's Twitch channel, the one you're on right now.
yes, you can. There's also a link to it on the P99 forums, and it's also on YouTube, youtube.com/SirkenP99.
Shameless.
Shameless plugs, but there's 3 places you can watch it if you missed it. It was yesterday. It was about an hour and a half long. We did lots of red questions.
All right. Mr. Jones wants to know, anywhere for you guys to make it so you could hail an NPC in Velious Beta that set you at a level and gave you a basic set of items so anyone could beta test?
I'm pretty sure there's an NPC that like does some buffing or something. Yes, it's possible. I don't know how much Rogan or Novog are gonna want to just give away NPCs or items and levels.
All right. We have Tone. Will Warrens, Chardock, Fear, Hate 2 come to P99? Come to P99. Come after release. COS nerfs, etc.
Yeah, all the zone revamps are gonna be a thing.
Yeah, if it was live during the Velious expansion, I think one of the zone revamps didn't happen until after Lucklin, but all the ones that happened in Velious are planned to happen on P99. And yes, that does include the COS nerf. They're getting nerfed to shit after Velious drop. Oh, and the fucking the breastplate, the cleric BP, those are getting nerfed too.
All right. Jim Up wants to know, has the Coldane Ring quest been tested? Looking forward to the Ring War.
I
Pretty
personally
sure that,
haven't.
like, you can go like up to I think the 8th ring on Velious Beta right now.
Porsaurus asks, will ice cream churn ever exist on P99?
Going
Am
back
I wasting...
quick to the ring question.
Sure.
I know for a fact that those will be in and working when Velious comes out, because that is something really specific that the devs have been trying really hard to just nail right exactly the way that it was on live.
All right. Portosaurus wants to know if ice cream churn will be a thing. Am I wasting this time, or am I wasting my time collecting all of this ice of Velious?
Green Grocer, we will try to make anything grocery worthy a thing that we can. And I say that without actually knowing what your question was, because I didn't hear Uberbandit say it.
Something about ice cream.
You hit it pretty much exactly. Don't worry, Derubael.
He wants to know if he's gonna be able to make ice cream, and all I'm gonna say is if it's classic, it'll be in there.
All right. Blade P99 wants to know, a real niche thing was Project M monster mode that didn't last very long. It's in P99's range on the EQ timeline. Has this ever been come up in talks?
I remember Project M, and let me just tell you, I would sit there as like a froglock bum in Inethul and just pretend to be a legit NPC. And when a player would come by and whack me, I'd start jousting them, and they wouldn't know what to do. If we can make Project M a thing, I will fight wholeheartedly to make Project M a thing.
Yeah, I vaguely remember Nilbog talking about that at one point. Maybe it was Rogan. I don't remember if they said it was viable or not. My knee-jerk reaction is to say that it's not, but I don't know that for sure.
Animaton wants to know, would it be possible to set the Velious beta up so people could create characters at level 30 until beta copy gets fixed?
I think that it's more likely for beta copy to get fixed. Like, I think that's less effort than coding in a new system where you spawn in with a level 30 character with gear.
I mean, level 30 is the max, so I'd be fine with that.
That was the greatest comment that's been said on the stream all night.
Rusty Taco wants to know, will we ever start to see more GM events? My paladin needs a DE mask like you wouldn't believe.
Your
Well,
staff
we were running crazy amounts of GM events in the last quarter of 2013.
Your staff has been very, very busy the last few months. And as soon as we have time, we'll try to get you a nice, fun event. Although, now I feel like if this guy wins, we shouldn't give him a guise.
Everybody, I think it's favoritism at that point. The GM events we really like doing. They take a significant amount of planning. Generally, when one of us jumps on Skype and is like, "Let's do an event. It'll be great." Like, those never work out very well. It takes a little bit of forethought. And if you want a really good one, you have to grab Nilbog when he has time to actually script out a real event. But we did a bunch at the end of last year. We did like the Halloween thing with the Inarok and Kazakh Fuel, and then we did like this weird Thanksgiving cockatrice thing with a bunch of turkeys in Dreadlands and over there for the lower level people. And then Santa Claus at the end of the year. And then, like Sirken said, we've just been really busy this first quarter of 2014 with real life stuff and game stuff.
I have to interrupt you. I just got a thing from our producers. They want me to correct you and remind you it was Krampus Claus.
Oh, that's my mistake. Well, no, I was Santa Claus, and we were fighting Krampus Claus. So.
Oh, you're right.
Producer, you can just lay off, producer.
Producer's fired. We're getting a new producer.
But I did neglect to mention that Krampus Claus was involved. He was very bad. He was very evil. He might have slain a bunch of newbies until Santa Claus stepped in to help. That was a lot of fun.
I just got a tell from fellow staff member Aussie, who says Nilbog has a post about the ring, and that he was asking for help with it from live, etc. So go find Nilbog's post on the forums. He'll tell you what he needs for the ring quest.
All right. Erlen wants to know,
want to get that right.
Will there be any beta buff on Velious beta then? Been asking this since the beta started with no answer.
I believe he's asking if there's something that will give you buff.
He's asking for a level up.
Yeah, it's a level buff.
I think, again, what Derubael said, it's more likely that copy will get fixed before we create something that spawns you at a level 30 with something.
Well, he's saying once you're already copied over, if you're like a level 29, is there going to be an NPC that buffs you up to level 60? We don't know. We're not really sure if that's going to be a thing or not. I do know that there are a ton of level 60s on this server, so there should be a lot of beta testing going on, but there's not.
And also there's content that is sub 60 that also needs to be tested.
There is a lot of content that's sub 60 that needs to be tested by people who are in that 35 to 50 level range. That's absolutely correct.
And we also
there's
talked
a
lot
of
about
Velious content that you can do between the levels of 35 and 60 that doesn't require a level 60 or even a level 50. Like, it was an expansion made for 35 plus, and it's a raid expansion, but there's still lots of stuff you can do if you're not a raid level character.
Go to Eastern Wastes and kill orcs and tell me
And
if
snow
they're
bunnies.
dropping the right amount of stuff.
We need to know if the snow bunnies are working correctly. It's really important.
Greengrocer, let us know if you're getting snow bunny meat.
And also, last Monday, we talked about a lot of the beta buff things for Velious, so you can go there and perhaps sate your thirst for a few more answers and opinions on that. Jones wants to know if you guys have done a naked races from G-Fei to Aerodin.
I think the last naked race we did was from the East Commons Freeport zone line to... Oh my god, I think we made him run all the way to Kinos. That was crazy, and I think I got them all drunk before they went too. I gave them all an Uthgard brew and told them they had to click it the entire way.
Nice.
And they were all level 1 gnomes with PvP enabled. It was fucking great.
Oh, we're gonna have to do something like that again soon. I feel everybody needs something like that.
Yeah, the naked races are a blast, and they're really easy to run and organize. As long as you make everybody PvP enabled, they can't get ported, so it prevents shenanigans from happening.
Proj48 wants to know, why don't you guys post the GM events on the forum so more people can show up instead of just the people online at the times you guys feel like doing it?
Here's the thing. We get hundreds of people just by doing it and having the people online when we do it. And sometimes we get so many that it crashes the zone.
Yeah, that was great.
We feel our announcing methods are working just fine. And that's kind of how like part of like the specialness of GM events is that you're in game and then this message comes and you're like, "Oh my god, it's a thing."
Yeah, for sure.
And then you run and try to do it. It wouldn't feel the same if it was like, "Hey guys, in 4 days at high noon, we will be hosting an event. Come to us." It's more exciting when things just start unfolding. And,
When they just happen.
yeah.
Although, to be fair, I think that there's been 1 or 2 events that were announced on the forums. I think I pumped the level 1 gnome free-for-all battle.
Appropriate. Sometimes it's appropriate. But sometimes you just need things to rumble somewhere. Like, oh, orcs are getting wild on the highway.
All right, we have Pyrocat asking, will the 8th Ixar Shaman Cudgel ever see the light of day?
I don't remember if that was in Velious or not. I know that Ixar's got really fucking shafted for a long time. I know that Green Mist, the SK one, I don't know if that made it into Velious, but I know that a lot of those quests didn't get completed until after Luckland, and I think that includes the Warrior Pike and the Shaman Cudgel. I mean, I could be wrong on that. They might be Velious, but I think those are Luckland, which would mean that they're probably not going to be on this server. Maybe as custom content. I think that would be really cool if the whole Ixar race got a little bit of love and got their demi epics put in, but we'll see.
No bias.
If no bias, no favoritism there at all.
Arg88 wants to know, is the armor drop in Kale purposefully wrong?
Nothing would ever be purposely wrong.
Yeah, if there is something wrong, you should put it in the bug forum. You shouldn't think, well, I wonder if they did this on purpose. Like, you should go report that right now if you notice that there's something not right on the beta.
Throw some evidence behind it and she gets fixed. And you are credited to server. Let's see.
You can be the hero of the box if you report bug.
Box hero!
P. Mackin wants to know, would it ever be possible to have the code be able to self-enforce raiding GMs or player therapy sessions for disputes?
Whoa, this is not Skynet, buddy.
We can't give the box too much power.
We're not giving the box, like, self-awareness and AI and shit.
Well, also, like, I could see if, like, FTE was, like, force coded in somehow, but I think, honestly, the idea is rather to make the raids and guilds actually deal with each other like people, rather than just teach them to be antisocial, because this is just how stuff goes.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it, and I know that code like that has been looked at in the past. But it's really complicated to implement that the right way so that it doesn't just end up screwing people over. It needs to be done really smartly, and it takes a lot of time to work out how exactly that should function. And then it takes testing after that. So I would not get your hopes up um, for raid specific limitations in the code, hard coded limitations on raids.
Because, you know, as soon as it messed up, you get a lot more grief than you do presently with raid drama.
Right. And I mean, like what you were saying, Uberbandit, there's no reason why these raid guilds, and I'm not singling anybody out, but there's no reason why these raid guilds shouldn't be able to figure it out and get along. Accidents happen. When an accident happens, work it out with the person that you screwed over. Everybody should be doing their best to not screw other guilds and not interfere with other guilds. But if they do, they should just man up and admit it and work it out between the two guilds, and everything should be fine.
Erlen actually asked a very good question about GM/guides. The coverage at EU time seems a little light. Anything going on to increase that?
Yeah, we actually just a couple days ago brought in an Australian guide who can cover some of those hours, as well as I know Eunomia is on morning and afternoon.
Yeah, Eunomia is always
time.
on really early in the morning.
Right, and that's pretty much close to primetime Euro hours. We're trying to get a good Euro guide, just for that exact reason, but it's hard to find guides, and it's also rare to find Euro guides.
Yeah, it's really hard to find guides. And this would be a good time to reiterate, if you think you're a good choice for a guide, we don't discriminate based on level. We don't discriminate if you're a gnome or if you're a dwarf. It doesn't really matter. We're an equal opportunity volunteerism employer. And if you think that you have the experience and maybe the knowledge and most importantly, the integrity and the drive to be a guide, you should put in an app. And if you're level 20, we don't care. Like, put it in anyway. We're looking for good people we can trust, and those are the two most important qualities. Everything else we can teach you.
Red99 asks, will monks ever be nerfed? They were toned down, block was broken. It is not in our timeline if classic. They can out-tank most knights.
He's saying that was classic, right? Is my interpretation? I remember monks were just ridiculously fucking overpowered in Velious. Like I think there was no two ways about it. They were unstoppable.
I think so. We can talk while he answers because of the delay. It is monks are broken. They were broken in classic. Is that going to be fixed?
Yeah, if they were broken in classic, which I mean, we can be argued if they were broken or not, but they were definitely fucking overpowered. I don't know. I don't think that's going to get changed. Like, the other thing is the itemization for monks in Velious is just, like, through the roof. Like, monks get the best everything in Velious, and there's just no way around that.
All right. Blade P99 has a shout out. Grick and Aussie both helped me with an important guild making matter and did it pretty fast. Shout out to those two. And Grick is an XR A+.
What was that? Can you say that again?
Blade P99 shouting out Grick and Aussie for having helped with a guild making matter really quickly. Thumbs up.
Shout out to new guys.
Those are our two new guides. So if you see them in game, be nice to them, be respectful, and show them what the community's all about.
Or Krampus Claus is gonna get you.
Yeah, we don't want to think.
And Grick is indeed an Ixar, so don't confuse him for Derubael.
Yeah, don't get us mixed up.
You won't. I don't know if you guys have seen Derubael lately, but he is walking around in like a samurai getup with a katana. He looks like the last samurai strolling through Norath.
I'm walking around in like all blood red robes with the green mist, so that's how you know it's me. I'm also pretty sure he doesn't have the title of the Dreadlord either, so.
We're not to look at that. Yeah, he's saying if our timeline is classic, months were not fixed until Luckland, but later deemed could out-tank Pallies and SKs due to block mechanic. The only thing is their threat generation in comparison. I mean, there's instances I imagine where you could, run monk tanks, but if anyone else is going to be doing amounts of damage, the monk isn't going to be holding.
Yeah, the big thing about the monk tank, and I'm doing air quotes. You guys can't see it, but I'm doing air quotes. The thing about the monk tank is that he's not going to out tank a warrior. It's just not. It's not going to happen. I know that did not happen during Velious. Monks did not out tank warrior. I think they could do it for short periods of time, but in an extended engagement, all of the raid targets are going to have warrior tanks, and I think that's the most important thing.
And also the with the block, I mean, because you don't necessarily have the best AC or the best defensive skills, you get unlucky hit and you're just dead. Where, you know, the warrior SK can take a few of those. All right. Pyrocat wants to know, when do hybrid XP penalties get removed?
I think that's a few months in the Velious. I'm really looking forward to that too. For everybody that has been asking about that for years now, that's a big deal
so
for
good.
a few of us on the staff. So, yeah, that'll happen. It'll happen as soon as it's supposed to happen. And we're looking forward to it.
I will be leading the pitchforks and torches. Because Rangers need the love. Let's see. We're dry. We did it.
Are we
reached the
done?
bottom.
Did we hit the bottom?
We're at the bottom. We'll see. People might be, I think there's like probably one big steamy long one. You know, like the one that you get up from and you feel like lighter.
Are we still talking about questions?
Tolm asks, how soon did he say? Derubael guesstimated a couple months.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly where it is on the timeline. It might actually be later than that, but I feel like it's more between 2 and 4 months in the Velious.
Let's see. Talk about the SKs, monks, yeah. Never, when people are really saying, let's take the monk tank over the Shadow Knight, if they're evenly geared.
Yeah, I would take the Shadow Knight.
Pyrocat.
Over the monk? Oh, yeah. Any day.
Yeah, several months into Velious, but not at launch. Shh, just tell them it's at launch. Maybe they'll believe us. Age of Mist wants to know, are all the creatures in Great Divide supposed to be indifferent/apprehensive?
We don't know. Go use the Wayback Machine.
Do research.
That's why we have beta. Like, if it seems a little bit weird to you, because here's the thing, and this is something that Nilbog has said a bunch of times. Development on P99, content development, is like 80% research, 20% the actual like coding of the content. So if you can go and you can do that research, like, you're basically a dev on P9. If you're going out and you're doing research, you're using the Wayback Machine, you're going and you're finding out, well, what did things con in the Great Divide? You're basically a developer, because that is a huge part of what Nilbog does when he's doing content development, is he has to go and verify, is this how something was on Classic? Was it this way or that way? So when you do that legwork and you lay that groundwork for him, it's a big deal. And I know he really appreciates it when he goes and he sees that somebody did research and then posted a bug report.
Yeah, because
you can be not only the box hero, but you can be Nilbog's hero.
May or may not involve a personal visit from Nilbog himself.
Well, wait, no, okay, that was not staff endorsed. This is Uberbandit. He's not
may or may not.
Not part of this. We never said Nilbog was going to go knock anybody's door. Don't think
he's auctioning off lunch with Nilbog.
He's going to. He'll even have a fruit basket. You two can enjoy a very romantic fruit baskety time.
Nilbog will show up in his Paladin helmet, his Robocop helmet.
God damn it!
All right. See, do I have blue questions?
Are you reading, or are you actually saying that
you
have...
I'm trying to think if I have blue questions. It's been a minute. But we're presently dry at the bottom of chat.
Uberbandit, I have a question for you.
Oh, okay.
What is it going to take to get you playing on this goddamn server again?
I did a little leveling in Mistmore. What it's going to take are periods of time where I feel like sitting down and looking for a group. I mean, if I like pop in, throw LFG up in like 5-10 minutes, I grab a group, then awesome, I'll be playing for a couple hours. But I do not presently have the fortitude to LFG for hours. I'm not that invested again yet. So I did XP a little bit.
All right.
Dark Elf Ranger is doing work in Mistmore. Things are going on.
A+.
see. Battletoad, he needs help on the beta server killing Vaniki, but nobody is on.
Well, you know what? I will start logging into the beta server, and if I'm on when he's on, I will help him.
Fortosaurus will call him, but first you have to help him get his corpse.
I'll do that too.
Alright.
I'm not even kidding. I do join people's groups and kill
Yep.
things with them on beta.
I mean, you guys can test too. It's a thing.
I can res and DPS and all kinds of things. I'm the best battle cleric you've ever had.
Is that what your character is, a cleric?
No, he's a warrior, but he's a warrior who can res.
Mm.
And he's a warrior who will not pull.
I zoned out for like the last minute. Are you guys talking about GMs playing on beta?
We sure are, buddy.
That is a lot of fun, I gotta say.
When you get me and Derubael in your group together, you're gonna have a good time.
My monk on the beta server is so not classic in any way. The Shadow Knight is super classic, but the monk is like so ridiculously OP.
I'm gonna ask this one out there and then be right back. Track wants to know, why do Null Teeth clearly give 5 to 10 more XP than Classic and continue to go unnerfed?
Bug forum, please, if that's a thing, honestly, if that is a thing, put it in the bug forum, post some evidence. I would love to see that get changed. I would love it if people left Blackborough alone, like all these threads in server chat, because then I wouldn't have to read them anymore. I wouldn't have to go into server chat and see Blackborough getting kill stolen by level blah blah blah, or have petitions that say level blah 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 is in Blackborough, taking all of our merbs. If you can get that fixed, if you can post real evidence about Nullfangs, you'll be my hero.
There's heroes everywhere.
There's heroes everywhere.
Everybody gets a hero today, guys.
Save Derubael, save the box. I've been watching Heroes lately for everybody that doesn't get that.
Oh, god damn it. So that's a thing, huh? That is a thing.
That apparently is, I just made it a thing.
So he's gone, so I'm gonna take some questions. Rick Cantiza says, what is happening with this beta copy thing? Again, just to reiterate, we know it's not working. Rogan and Nobog know it's not working. It will be fixed.
Sounds like it's actually getting addressed right now.
That would be sexy.
Insider info.
Oh, damn.
I spilled the beans on stream. I'm sorry.
Beans being spilled.
All right. Amenra wants to know, is Velious the last expansion of P99?
Welcome back, Uberbandit. It depends. I mean, it's the last planned expansion in our classic trilogy, but who knows after that? The world is our oyster, after all.
Yeah, it's one of those that's kind of a figure it out when they get there sort of a thing.
Yeah,
because setting anything in stone now would be kind of silly.
Sirken's statement about the world is our oyster is totally true, and I know that all kinds of crazy ideas have been bounced around between the staff as to what exactly is going to happen with custom content. So anything could happen.
Anything.
But let's get to Velious and through Velious first, and then we'll worry about what can happen after Velious. You guys have a whole nother expansion to play in for another 3 years, however many years. Like, you've been in Kunark for 2 years. I understand you're starving for content, but like, let's do the first one first, and then we'll worry about the custom stuff.
I like it.
Let's see. Track asks. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. That was a question. Everybody's gear will be much better when Velious launches compared to Classic. Will bosses be adjusted? 2+ years of Kunark might make a lot of Velious trivial.
I wouldn't worry so much about that. We're that's gonna be just fine. Nilbog would never allow his merbs to just come in and get squashed.
Yeah, for sure. Team NPC. Stuff will be challenging, don't worry about it.
Alright. Elbana Rooster asks, I will ask this question forever. Will the guide/GMs consider brownie illusions for the people?
Like, permanently? I don't even know if that's a global model.
No, brownie is not a global model.
Definitely. There you have it. It's not possible.
I will gladly make you a brownie in Elfe. That could
Yeah,
be
it
a
only
thing.
works.
You could run past people and freak them out. Just run past Buzz Sisters a couple times. Amenra wants to know, will the dev team ever someday release part of P99's open source, just so the development server could be expedited?
That would be a Rogan no-ball question.
And the issue with releasing the source code, especially to the server, is with the source code, you also have all of the holes in front of your eyes. So it would make it kind of difficult for the server itself if that fell into the wrong hands.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why you have, a vetting process for developers in the first place.
Yeah, there's a bunch of reasons why the source code hasn't been released. In the end, it's Rogan and Nilbog's project here, and they're going to have the final say on what happens. And as of right now and in the near future, it doesn't sound like it's going to get released.
Blade P99, I want to ban you so bad. He adds, Ixars are scaled correctly.
They absolutely are. Every scale is perfect, in fact.
Let's see. Varen wants to know if you'll Gukton bomb all these people in Carners. Please.
Maybe when we're done.
Let's see. Portosaurus chiming in that the beta server is kicking. So you have people doing things. If
Big
you want to do things in Velious, like you've been wanting to do the last 2 years, go do things in Velious.
I'm not even gonna log into ESO when this is done. I'm gonna
You know
log
what?
into the beta server and play over there.
I'm going to go ahead and say that the 5 people on beta right now are having way more fun than the people on blue. No doubt about it. In fact, yeah, Sirken, we can go. You want to go? We can do a beta group. We can get some people together. We'll do a beta raid.
We can, and you know what? Can we level people? Can we just turn people into level 30? Can people? All right, first question. Can people create new characters on the beta server?
No, they can't.
No. No, they cannot. Well, if you have any littler characters on beta currently and you catch me in there, which I'll be in there when this is done, I will ding you to level 35 or so. And you can start doing things. I won't give you items, but I'll ding you. And I'll send you to wherever you want, maybe. And also, I think me and Derubael are going to try to put together a group or two and see what kind of mischief we can get into
Yeah, I
over
like
on the
that
beta
idea.
server. Winter's coming, guys. We all got to do our part. Me and Derubael are going to do some beta testing with you guys because it's not fair for us to ask you to do it but not do it ourselves. We get that.
An issue with
2
leveling
people
characters.
just logged off of the beta server when we made that announcement.
They're like, fuck
They're like,
Derubael
fuck
and
this.
fuck Sirken.
If a character is leveled and the classic zones aren't all there, will you have access to any of your spells?
Not really.
Right. So that would be why leveling isn't actually a thing on the beta, because the giving you all of your spells as well is a lot of stuff.
Well, I mean,
But
gets
you could
retained.
melee the crap out of stuff. No better time to get your one-hand blunt skilled up. Or you'll just you'll be cosplaying as a ranger using your level 8 cleric spells at 30. I wish that I was actually kidding.
For the not caster people. Excuse me, for not caster people, I'll even up your skills so that you don't suck if you try to beat things up.
Oh damn! But are you gonna up them to
Sweeten the pig.
255?
Yeah, let's put them all 255.
Oh shit! You guys hear that? You level 10s right now that have a level 10 on beta, you will be OP as shit at level 30.
You could do that
With
to
255.
the casters, and it'd be fine. Like they could do stuff.
Well, they'd have
Well,
to.
if you're gonna do that to the melees, you might as well just all spell.
I'll do it for casters. Can I do all
Casters.
spells? Is that a thing?
Yeah, that's a thing, sir. That's been a thing for a long time.
Sorry, I'm not in the habit of going
You have
around
that.
giving
You have
people
that.
spells.
It instantly fills their spell book for all of the spells up to their level.
Oh man, that's gonna be a
Oh
thing,
man.
guys. Yeah, we're gonna let's make some noise on beta. We can do it. My dog's barking. He's excited about beta. Oh
We
man.
want to see like half of you guys come to the beta server after this. There's 104 people on watching right now. We want to see like 50 some people on beta when we turn this stream off.
Let's see. Proj asking why would it matter if you gave people items / spell on the beta server? You don't get to keep any of it. This sounds like a win-win.
I don't think it does matter. That's why I'm gonna do it.
There you go. I mean, there are a lot of things, like, obviously it's not something that can be set up to be done all the time, but the GMs have the discretion to make it a lot easier to test things when they're available.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you were on the beta server and, it was maybe like literally just you and Rogan in the server, if you sent him a tell and said, hey, I want to test XYZ or go run around zone B, but I can't because level 8. I mean, you might just suddenly find yourself at, 30, 40, 50, whatever.
And if you do send Rogan a tell and he doesn't respond, don't get butthurt. A lot of times he does not log out, and so
Yeah.
he will be sleeping but logged into the beta server. And so that's the thing. Sometimes, a lot of times, he's not there. But if you see him moving around doing things, then ask him.
Yeah, that is the thing for the GMs is when they're available, they will help you, but they aren't always available all the time.
A lot of us like to just walk away from the game without
Mhm.
logging out. And
When you don't have to
so,
worry about dying, you kind of just stand wherever you want.
but I'll tell you right now, if Derubael's in East Cabulus, there's like a 90% chance he's AFK.
Mm.
If he's in Field of Bone, that's the best time to send him a tell because it means he's fucking around. Although it could
Wait.
end very badly for you if it's
Wait,
Field of Bone.
could you repeat that?
No, I can't. I'm gonna teach you not to zone out.
Oh man.
All right, Eurogamer mentions Rogan brought the form runner down like half a year ago. It would be cool if he gets it fixed. That app is way better to read the forums on a smartphone.
A plus.
I mean,
He was asking like, is it ever gonna be
Yeah.
fixed? Sirken's just like, I love it. Like that's
Yep.
great.
That sounds good to me.
Rogan, that's A plus.
He's listening.
Oh man.
We have no idea what the deal is. I feel like that's a
That's a Rogan thing.
I don't even know if that is a Rogan thing. I'm
Is
not
it
even
not?
sure what that is.
That's somebody's thing. It's not a me or you thing. I know that.
Oh, Age of Myth. UC doesn't work under level 10 for beta. That is indeed a thing.
Let's call it UUC.
Yes.
I don't even know what to do with that. I'm not even sure what to say right now.
Oh, god damn it.
So when you're using UUC, are you oot oof character?
Look, it comes from all right? It's habitual.
Oh,
Makes sense.
So when you're are you oot oof mana?
Wait, you say though. I know
I
you're
say
out.
OOM. I've always said OOM.
Oh, well, you're a poop. Or sorry, Pope. Wait.
Yeah, that works.
Hmm.
I like that better than poop.
A plus.
Let's see.
Everybody gets A pluses.
Shout out Age of Myth doing the level 8 content on the Velious beta server. Doing work. I believe. But no, yeah. It's just
Level 8 content is like petting snow bunnies, I believe.
I mean, what you could
I
do
don't
though,
know, Snow Bunny's
no matter
like-
what level you are, run around and see if shit's conning correctly like you remember it.
You can make sure the boat works.
Yes. Go
Everybody
hail
can do their part
NPCs.
on the Velious beta.
Make sure NPCs aren't giving you level limited quests that you shouldn't actually be able to get.
Walk
That's a
up and
thing.
hail things that
Yeah.
you know have words.
Try to target that rock and hail it. It'll be fine. sometimes the rocks speak.
See if you can successfully murder the giant turtle in Iceclad, and if you can, report it.
Pull random crap that you think the guards should or should not aggro and see if they aggro it. I mean, there's a lot of stuff like that. You just start thinking of things that you know were broken at one point on P99. Go test to see if similar things are on the beta server. I mean, that's as soon as I get Scout over there, that's the kind of stupid stuff I'm getting involved in. Gonna invis everywhere, just pull mobs, see if guards will kill it, die, and then just go hard and in the paint.
Sounds legit. I like it.
Let's see. Archduke wants to know, is there any reason Rogan recently incorporated servers now hosted by domains owned by Rogan Technologies LLC?
If we told you, we'd have to kill you.
There you go.
Yeah, I actually can't really give you a more complete answer than that. It was done for a reason.
It's sexier, and it makes us feel better about ourselves.
There you go.
Yeah, plus, imagine the business cards. The hair.
If I had a business card that said Project1999, I would kill myself.
Just start handing them out.
Like, hey there. I'm GM Sirken, Project1999. Here's my card.
Well, what you do actually is you go into places that have them facing outwards, and you just swap your cards for theirs.
Well, then I'm getting other people business. That doesn't help me at all.
No. So, like, you go to, like, some, I don't know, some agency or something, and you take out all of their cards and then put yours in, and then just walk away.
I don't think I don't know. There's never going to be business cards that say those words.
All right.
Never going to be a thing.
Give me a week and some Photoshop.
All right, I will never have business cards that say those things.
I will borrow.
Pretty sure that if Sirken ever had a business card, it would just say GM Sirken in the middle in like black print, in like a nice neat font.
Oh yeah, something to
Nothing
mention
else.
about
No address, no phone number, just GM Sirken.
about the beta server is beta is the only 99 server that you will be able to box on. You can box the crap out of beta.
That's 100% true.
Out of beta.
You could be Sam Deathwalker on that bitch.
We've said it before.
Let's see. Will Rogan ever make it so that players can only have one actual account per IP? And if he does, would it be possible to have characters move to a single account?
Absolutely not. There are lots of couples who play from the same IP. There are lots, like I know there are people who use it to box, and I know there's people who just have a ton of accounts, but there are a lot of people who legit play from the same IP address and are different people, and so we would never do that.
Well, if I was a smart person, instead of deleting my level 20s, I would have just made another account and leveled some more. But I didn't think about that till literally right now. Let's see. Troubledore. Oh, I like that. Says, I'd like to see bar drums actually show up as drums and not a whistle, and not strumming it either. Is that classic?
I don't know, but I agree with him. I would much rather see the damn drum.
I'm pretty sure that's just how they play drums. Look, it's magic. You can't argue with music magic. Age of Mist saying...
I know the dev team is aware that there's a few things about bards that are not working the way they're supposed to. I think it's been really difficult to find out how to fix those, which is why a lot of that stuff hasn't gotten addressed.
Probably involves doing the animations by hand or trying to find them somewhere. Let's see. I saw something. Yes, Age of Myth says you should stream the beta server.
Maybe I will. Maybe I just might.
There we are. PN Boots asks, what are you guys using to pick up on people using VPNs to box characters?
We can't talk about what we use to catch people boxing, because then they'll know what to do to get around what we do to catch them.
Yeah.
Precisely. Nix asks, is hanging out at the KC zone line okay? What line do we have to stand behind?
I mean, I think it's a dumb place to hang out because if somebody trains mobs that way, if you're AFK, you're gonna die.
But they hang out there because they can't hang out anywhere else when they wait for VS to spawn because of the poop sock
They're
rule.
not poop socking. Are you kidding? We have rules against that.
These guys.
They're just
are
hanging
poop
out on the
socking.
safe side of
Oh,
KC.
I'm sorry. You're right. If you're
Derubael.
not at the spawn, it's not poop sock. That's my bad. It's my mistake.
My God, you're just throwing accusations around all willy-nilly.
I'm going off the top a little bit
My
here.
God, you can't just be shooting from the hip like that, sir.
Well, sometimes, like, I see a situation, I see a bunch of people, they've been sitting here for, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 hours. They're
looking for group.
There's a mob in window. There's enough people here to literally steamroll the entirety of Karnor's castle in about 15 minutes.
Nah. It's because LFG don't work.
So I see that, and I just automatically think poop sock. I didn't realize these people are not poop socking.
These are legit players. They would never poop sock. They are all LFG right now.
There is no way that we implemented these poop sock rules and they just changed the location of the sock.
There's no way.
Would never happen.
Not our community. Hell no. They all are waiting for their turn at left courtyard.
Nix wants to know.
That actually does sound classic. Now that I think about it.
What does a mob in window mean?
She's just trolling. Nix, you trolling. Don't answer her trolls, Uberbandit.
Is there a good view? Is the mob watching a murder out his window?
He's like the master troll, the trolless, and everybody knows it.
God damn it.
Oh, everyone else has been sated so far.
Well,
I think that's a good time to cut it off.
I think that's gonna do it.
We can go hop over to beta. Have a little bit of fun over there. Sirken can tank. Sirken's gonna be the tank. I'll hop on one of my 2 characters that are over there, and we'll all have a good time.
I will be with
wants
you
to join
all in
us.
spirit.
If anybody wants to join us, we'll be over there.
All right.
'Cause right now, I only see. Wait for it. I only see 6 people on the beta. 6 people.
Let's get logged into beta. We'll do a broadcast. Do a broadcast in game.
And
say what? GM group on beta, like ready go.
And say, hey guys, we want all of you to log into the beta server right now. Sirken and Derubael are going to be doing big things.
And in fact,
maybe we'll do an event.
On stream.
Maybe we'll do an event on the beta server.
And then we'll
just read my mind.
We'll participate in it?
Hell no, we won't participate. But what we'll do is we'll give the winner a guise on their live character.
Oh my God! No, I'll tell you something after this.
You tell me some things, but unless you tell me some good things, I think that might be a thing.
It'll be after the stream is over.
A+.
All right, and also you did on stream go on saying you're helping people with the leveling and spell and skills bit if their character that they copied isn't quite up to snuff. To at least 35, was it?
Something around there, yeah. We'll do 35.
Whatever
Why
numbers
not?
he feels like typing in.
Why not? I'm pretty sure Derubael has access to all these commands, so I'm going to make him help me.
You heard it first, Derubael conscripted.
Pretend I don't.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know what you're talking about. Sir, and I have apprentice guide level access on the beta.
Loden asks, has anyone asked if there will be a new server at any point?
No.
T99?
There will be a team server after Velious.
To clarify my statement, I'm not saying no, that no one's never asked that, because people have asked that many times. The answer is no.
Teams,
which is still a long way off.
After Velious.
After Velious is stable and perfect and pristine, then they'll have time to play around with teams. But until then, go test Velious. Otherwise, we won't get teams.
Yeah, teams is your hope for a fresh start, which is still way down the road.
And there is a lot about... Back when we first started talking about it, there's a lot of stuff about what teams will be and things like that, I believe. Back in your Twitch video log, Sirken, you actually talked to Nobog and Rogan a bit about it. Was that
About what?
the T99, how that was going to go over?
As a staff, we've had multiple discussions about it.
And there are quite a few discussion back in your video logs, aren't there?
Yes, there was a whole roundtable discussion where we announced teams and some plans for it, and Rogan was there, I was there, Nobog and Zaid was there. It's in there. It's on the YouTube page. Go find it.
And also, yeah, I was gonna say you've put probably most of that up on the YouTube too, haven't you?
Everything's on the YouTube.
Maybe you should link it for people that don't know how to YouTube.
YouTube.com/SirkenP99.
There you go.
It's almost like a link. Just let my voice
Just
sink into
change
your
the
brain.
twitch.tv to youtube.com and you're there.
It's that easy.
Ailden asking if you'll have people stealing your gear in the team server. So that's item loot.
He means item loot.
Nothing really has been decided, set in stone. We're playing with lots of ideas, and one of the things on the table is item loot.
If we do item loot, it sounds like we're leaning towards maybe less valuable things being lootable from item loot, but we're not sure yet. We don't know. So
Something tells me that after they're done thinking about Velious and Teams is coming up, they'll obviously be communicating with the community on what they think as far as the server and stuff, and they'll also be putting more effort towards getting a good plan for the T99 server. Right now, it's just kind of, this is a thing that we want to do eventually. While Velious, we need to get done now.
Exactly. Velious first, and then we'll talk about teams.
yep, I agree with all that.
We're done.
We're done. We're pulling the plug.
Say goodbye to people.
Goodbye, people. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for caring about what we have to say. All your questions were fantastic. No such thing as a dumb question, only dumb people, and none of your questions were dumb. So you're all genius in my book.
Good job. And Uberbandit, say bye.
I know I don't need simple flattery to win your people's favors, unlike the Bears over here. So thanks everyone for showing up, and have a good night.
You know what, Uberbandit? They shower me in affection, so in turn, I shower them in affection. We scratch each other's backs, all right? Jeez.
Do they scratch your tail?
No, I don't let people touch my tail. That's not a thing.
Uberbandit, thank you for coming on and
you're
answering questions.
Young XR female, in which case, email me at Derubael@justthetip.com.
God damn it. God damn it. Oh, and all you people, thanks for listening and watching and your question sending. We appreciate all of that. Click the follow button if you haven't clicked the follow button. It makes me happy and lets me know that you want more of these things, and it will tell you when we're doing these things again. I think that's pretty much it. So, thank you again. Goodbye.
Beta server. We're all going to
beta
party
server.
on the
Do
beta
it.
server. That's a thing.
Beta.
I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna grab a piece of pizza, and then we're all gonna go head over to beta. So you guys should all do that too, because it's awesome.
I wish I had pizza.